Hello, this is Dan Terrence bringing you the energy and personal development update. This is number 17 and February 25th. I've only done one update for each of the first 2 months here in 2020. I will get back to doing 2 per month as I did for 8 out of the 9 months I did this video channel in 2019. So get back on the wagon. All right, this time energy is really going to be around electric vehicles. So the quick hit is the market cap of Tesla. It has been an amazing story if you've tracked it. Now, it was trading for about 18 months, kind of in the 300 to 350 range, and it actually dipped below 200 for a short period of time in the summer of 2019. And you can see on the right-hand side there how it was in the 200s in November, December, crept it back into that normal trading range, and then went geometric in January and February. In fact, reached an all-time high of $968 about a week ago. Yesterday, it closed at $833. On the left side, it gave us a market cap of about $154 billion. That is more than the Detroit's big three of GM, Ford, and Fiat Chrysler, which together is about $115 billion. It's amazing the market cap that Tesla has, and I think it is a point to show of where the electric vehicle market is going, where the momentum is, and it is going to be an exciting decade for electric vehicles. To that point, here are some projections. It looks like it's projected the EV market will grow by about 50% annually through 2024. At the end of 2019, we had about 1.1 million electric vehicles on the road, and so in 2020, it's projected about 500,000 will be added. I think my projection from last month said 1 million. We'll see if we get to that tipping point yet. Electric vehicles are forecasted to be at about 11% penetration by 2025 and 40% by 2040. What this means is for utilities, it's a huge opportunity. After a decade of almost zero growth, they can get up to about 15 to 20% growth by 2030. Some of the barriers in the market to getting the adoption by customers to electric vehicles, down below, you can see really it's around two main themes. First is cost. There's still a premium to buying an electric vehicle, and that cost, although helped by tax incentives, is still there. But as battery prices come down, there's going to be parity within the next 5 to 10 years, probably in the second half of this decade, which is going to just, I think, put a lot of oomph behind the electric vehicle surge, and we'll see kind of that tipping point and more of a hockey stick acceptance of electric vehicles. The other thing now that the market has to work on is range anxiety, and so that's really brought to bear here in these top 3 categories of a battery runs out too quickly, lack of charging stations more broadly, or lack of charging stations within my region. And people with that range anxiety need to see more in the market. Even though more than 80% of the charging takes place at home, and that the range of your vehicle is going to allow you to do whatever travel you need to do in an average day, there's still this, what happens if I have to drive to the next state, I suppose. But who else, or who's taking this on? It certainly seems that utilities should engage and build programs to help their customers adopt electric vehicles. ACEEE does a utility scorecard on an annual basis. This year, it just came out last week, and they have a section for electric vehicle programming that you can earn 2.5 points out of, which is, I think, about out of 50 or 60 points. You can see 7 of utilities have earned all 2.5 points, and there are 4 utilities earned 2. There was 52 utilities in total that were scored by ACEEE, and a couple of interesting points here that 45 of those have EV educational material available to customers. So, what's that, 80-90%? 16 have approved filings for running at least one kind of EV type program. 18 have rates specifically for electric vehicles, although many more promote their time of use rate option as the way to go if you purchase an electric vehicle. But it's not only utilities that are promoting, really states and cities are stepping up for reasons of decarbonization, pollution reduction. You can see in California, for instance, where about half of all electric vehicles in the US are currently located, that they're still going about 10x by 2030, through this decade. A couple other states that have signed up for significant goals, Tennessee, Massachusetts, and Minnesota, going from 5 to 18,000 up to 200 to 300,000. Huge growth through the 2020s. Should be an interesting industry to watch for this decade. And I will continue to do updates occasionally on electric vehicles, and maybe we'll even have something on the electric vehicle I bought last week. So I pulled the gas plug and changed it in. So I bought myself some range anxiety, and hope that this helps me just kind of, by living it, understand it more to help build the programs that we need for the future. All right, on the mentor side, today's topic is around training, learning, and development. The problem is that we learn at the wrong times, we're learning the wrong things, and we forget. So I saw this chart and I was like, this is reality. I probably forget more than this chart, but look at it. Within an hour, if you don't use what you were learning, you lose 50% of it, right? And within a week, you lose 75 to 80%. So what's the alternative? What's the solution? Well, they borrowed a term from the manufacturing sector and called it lean learning, and really kind of have 4 steps to this, right? The first is learn the core of what you need to learn. An example they used was, if you're learning a foreign language, 20% of the words are probably used about 80% of the time. So you focus in and learn these 20% of the words. The second thing you need to do is apply it to real world situations immediately. So if you're learning your language, you need to get out and start using it, find situations where you can use that, and get immediate feedback and refining your understanding. So apply it and get that feedback so you know that you're using the training in the right way. And then you just kind of repeat that cycle. So an example of how this might work is more these like micro courses where you would have 1 hour of training and then you apply it. And this 1 hour, these topics are very relevant to current challenges, current opportunities. And then you do that, you apply it, and then you go out and do the next one. So if you are a person looking for that training or understanding how you can get the most out of what the time that you put in and invest into training, that would be the way to go. Smaller tidbits, figure it out, and apply it immediately. You got to apply it immediately or you'll lose it. All right, this is it for this session, and I look forward to talking with you twice next month. All right, take care.